August 12, 1985, a typical summer evening at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. Thousands are traveling for the Obon holiday. Among them, the 524 souls boarding Japan Airlines Flight 123. A routine 54-minute hop to Osaka. No one could have predicted it would be their final journey. At 6:12 p.m., the massive aircraft lifted off, climbing steadily over the sparkling waters of Sagami Bay. All systems appeared normal. 12 minutes into the flight, at 24,000 feet, a sudden, violent explosion rocked the cabin. The aircraft lurched uncontrollably. Explosive decompression. The rear pressure bulkhead, a critical structural component, had failed. The air inside the cabin vanished in an instant. The failure was catastrophic. It severed all 4 hydraulic systems, leaving the pilots with no way to move the rudder, the elevators, or the ailerons. Even worse, the vertical stabilizer, the tail fin, had been torn away. The pilots were now flying a 350-ton aircraft with no steering whatsoever. In the cockpit, Captain Masami Takahama and his crew fought with superhuman effort. They were forced to use engine thrust alone to steer the crippled giant. The plane began a terrifying series of phugoid oscillations, pitching up and down and rolling into Dutch rolls that made the passengers sick with fear. Without its tail, the 747 was aerodynamically unstable. Every attempt to correct the course only amplified the violent swaying. Tokyo Control received the emergency squawk 7700. They watched in confusion as the aircraft began erratic turns, heading inland toward the mountains. Inside the cabin, passengers realized the gravity of their situation. Some scribbled final, heartbreaking notes to their families on whatever paper they could find. For 32 agonizing minutes, the crew kept the plane airborne. They managed to clear several mountain ridges, but they were losing altitude and speed. The winds and the lack of control were pushing them deeper into the unforgiving peaks of the Okuchichibu Mountains. The terrain below was a maze of granite and pine. Their final struggle was heroic, attempting to lift the nose one last time. But at 6:56 p.m., Flight 123 struck a ridge on Mount Takamagahara. The impact was catastrophic. The world's deadliest single aircraft accident had just occurred. 520 lives were snuffed out in an instant. A U.S. Air Force helicopter spotted the wreckage shortly after, but Japanese authorities delayed the rescue until morning, believing no one could have survived. The U.S. Air Force offered immediate help, but they were told to stand down. It remains one of the most controversial decisions in aviation history. When rescuers finally arrived 14 hours later, they found a miracle. 4 survivors were pulled from the wreckage, though many others had succumbed to their injuries in the night. The investigation revealed the cause, a faulty repair to the pressure bulkhead following a tail strike 7 years earlier. It was a ticking time bomb. The fallout was immense. The president of Japan Airlines resigned, and a lead engineer took his own life, a tragic testament to the weight of the disaster. The tragedy led to sweeping changes in global maintenance standards and the way airframe repairs are certified, ensuring such a failure never happens again. Today, a memorial stands on Mount Osutaka. We remember the 520 victims and the incredible bravery of the crew who fought until the very end. A tragic chapter in aviation history, serving as a permanent reminder of the cost of safety and the resilience of the human spirit. This was the story of JAL Flight 123, never forgotten.